I'm giving ChatGPT £100,000 and I want to see how it invests my money and how much money it can make me. I want to find out how good is AI at actually giving smart UK property investment advice. So AI, artificial intelligence, is shaping our world quicker than we ever could have anticipated. Now, I've gone from minus 33k 10 years ago to over a £20 million portfolio. We did 10.8 million last year in our property related businesses. And I'm really proud of that. And then something I really think about is how fast or how much faster would I have made my first million, my first 10 million, etc. And then more importantly, how's this going to accelerate the next 10 years of my property investment journey? Because the one thing that's not going to change is the property itself, like land. We're not developing more of it, bricks and mortar, everything like that. And it's a bit of an archaic industry. And the introduction of AI into this, into property, is allowing us as property investors to act way faster and hopefully far more accurately in our decision making. And tools like LENDLORD, ChatGPT, they're huge pieces of software and AI that make a massive difference. And baffling, what's most baffling about it is they're so cheap or free. And the reason for this is obviously it's all about mass users. And I want to take advantage of that until it changes. So I want to find out if AI can actually suggest a deal strategy and the location that actually really works. And then I'm going to run through those figures through the LENDLORD software that I use a lot to check all of my figures and actually just find out, can we rely on it? Do I believe in the accuracy of these AIs? So I'll give you a bit of a breakdown. So I'm going to open up ChatGPT into this, and I want to make sure we're giving it some direction. So I've got a little prompt here, and what I usually find is the quality of the prompt gives the quality of the answer. So you really want to make sure you've got some decent prompts that are going in. Now, I'm not going to give it a load of context here because I want it to be really fresh. So I've done a fresh page. I want to just get this accurate direction. But if you were to really use it, you want to make sure that you're saying, this is who you are, this is who I am, here's my investment thesis, here's my risk appetite, and you'd give it a lot more information to go on. And the better the prompt, the better the outcome. And so much so that you have prompt engineers, which you don't need to be a prompt engineer. You can literally ask ChatGPT, here's the outcome that I'm looking for, here's a prompt tip for you. Tell ChatGPT what outcome you want and ask it to ask you questions that will allow you to give it a better prompt. And honestly, it will baffle you. So here's what I'm putting in. I am a UK property investor. I have 100k currently to invest in the UK property market. My strategy is long-term wealth, safe and secure investment. What's the best location for me to be investing in? So let's see what it comes up with. And you should be able to see on screen now, live as it is loading up. So I think this is pretty cool that it's giving us direction here. So for long-term wealth and safe, secure investments, the best locations are those with strong, consistent capital, stable or rising rental demand, and resilient local economies. So what it said is Yorkshire. So Yorkshire is the standout, which is great. It's a little bit vague right now, but it's still pretty good. Based on your strategy and investment size, West and South Yorkshire, Leeds, Sheffield, York, surrounding community towns are highly attractive. Well, that's very good. That's why we tend to be focused there. Capital growth has consistently, Leeds and Sheffield and surrounding have consistently outperformed. Affordable entry points, so 100k allows you to leverage comfortably. At the moment, it's saying 3 to 400k total investment with 75% mortgages. Rental demand is really good with 6 to 7% gross yields and regeneration and infrastructure. And it gives some alternatives as well. So other areas that might be worth considering is Manchester and Greater Manchester, Liverpool, Nottingham and Derby. The recommended shock horror, boring vanilla buy-to-let property. So I think this is really good. I think this is a decent starting point so far. Like if you've watched a load of my videos, you know that I talk about this a lot. West and South Yorkshire are our chosen points, which is there's for a reason, not because I live here. I choose to live here because it's a great area. And if that ended up being Nottingham, then I'd move everything there and go there, right? But so far, so good. Boring, vanilla, buy-to-let properties. And the other thing I love is it gives suggestions. Do you want me to give you specific you postcodes and stuff like that, which I think is really cool. So it's quite northern heavy, but that makes sense. So here's what I've said. I always say thank you. I don't know why. Apparently you're not meant to because it costs ChatGPT more, but I like being polite to my AI. Here's a tip for you. You never know when AI is going to take over, and I think they might remember the polite people rather than working it like you're a little bitch. So here's what I've said. Thank you. So I'm thinking of focusing on Yorkshire and buy-to-let from what you've said. So what postcodes across Yorkshire region will provide me with the best balance between yield and capital growth for long term? So here's what we're going to look into. So it's given Burley and Kirkstall, LS5, LS12 and LS11. In Sheffield it's given S2, S6 and S11, which is interesting. You've got some higher value areas. I really want to make sure that we're focusing on, can you make some suggestions with average terrace and semi-detached property prices between 120k and 170k, just to give it that little bit of narrow down. I don't know what it will come up with, by the way. Searching the web. All right, so now we've started. We've got Healy, Gleedless, Arthurbourne, Armley, Hillsborough, and maybe we'll start to narrow this down. So it's not actually bad. Now what you can actually do is find some actual listings. Find your favorite 5 listings. And let's see how they actually compete, all right? So I don't know what it will click out here. Wow, okay, so... okay, that's pretty cool. So let's see, there's one on Rightmove here. Let's click the link, see what comes up. I actually didn't know it could do this, by the way, so I love the fact I'm doing this video and it is very real. I'm not really big on that. What one did it say? 2-bed, mid-terrace on Cecil Grove. Maybe. Let's go with this one. So it's made some suggestions. We've got the URL. So let's have a look at some of this. So first of all, we're going to jump onto Landlord. And then what we want to do is go over to invest. And if you haven't got Landlord, by the way, what are you doing? Like, everyone should have Landlord. I don't earn anything from you doing this. Go to the description now. I'll pin it to the top. Click on that. It's completely free. And there is a premium. I can't remember what our discount code is. We've got a discount code where like you could get the premium features for like a year for like 60 quid. It's ridiculous. Play around with it on the free stuff. If you want the premium and you want the discount code, put Landlord in the comments and I'll get my team to respond with a link and a code that you can upgrade on, all right? So we go on here. And what we're going to do is go over to the analyzer now. So what I love with this on Landlord is they've incorporated this new feature where you can just go property URL and you'll go buy to let on there. Let's have a look at it. So it's in decent nick. To be fair, it's actually not that big a refurb despite it being colourful, let's say, unique. If this is your house, I'm really sorry. But yeah, it needs updating, to be fair. So let's see what it says, by the way. This is pretty cool. I might do a BRR on it. I'll probably use bridging and go from there. So proceed to BRR analysis. Now, a BRR, if you don't know this, is a buy, refurbish, refinance. I'm not saying I will do this. I'll give you another example of how we actually utilize Landlord to go through this in a second and how you can double down on these areas. So let's see what Landlord's come up with. So pretty good, right? So it's listed at 185,000. We've got that list price on there. They reckon refurb of 9,250. It baffles me how they do this from an AI point of view, by the way, which I actually think that's probably a little bit light, but not that light overall. I might increase that a little bit, and I'll probably go to about 15,000 on there. After refurbishment, they reckon about two, fine. And then the monthly rent, £1,000. I reckon it'll be there or thereabouts. So again, let's just check these for a second, because how good is the AI on this? Because we always want to be as clear as possible. So we're going to go there. We're going to put postcode on that. Get the full postcode. So we've got S2 3PG. And we're going to go just to Rightmove quickly and go to rent. And what is this? This is a 2-bedroom terrace, nice end terrace to be fair. And let's just make sure we agree with that rental and see what's coming up. We'll go there, 1/4 mile and go through. And again, we really want to check. So, right, we've got a 1,400, which is a bit bigger. It's not a lot on the market actually, which is a really good sign from a rental demand. 1,050, here we go, that's a 3-bed. 950, but nowhere near as nice as a 2-bed. Do you know what? 1,000 is probably about right. So I'd give that relatively accurate after a quick look. And let's just look at some house prices as well. So if we put that in here, let's see how accurate it's actually come up with. And we'll see what's there. So we've got this postcode. We'll go up to half a mile just to see what's what. We'll go to properties that are also terrace, and we've got 265. Okay, that's a 4-bed though. Let's go by date sold. We've got 3-bed terrace at 125. That is very low. A bit further away though. 195, 231. Okay, 255. It's a bit of a range. So let's just say very quick numbers, 220. Again, not too bad there. Now, is it worthwhile? And this is the cool stuff, by the way. Look at these projections here. If for a BRR, like if I am doing a buy, refurbish, refinance, I probably want that IRR being about 15%. So if I get that down a little bit on the purchase price, sorry, I want it about 20%. So if I get that purchase price down, I'd end up needing it at about 165 would be my guess. Yeah, maybe 167 as we're going up there to get that bang on that 20. So not too bad. So all things considered, I think when we go back to the listing link on here, and we've got it at 185, and we need it 167, it's not crazy on there. So I think that is pretty good. The cool thing that I really like, by the way, is this. So we've got the results there from a long-term investment. We go to the summary, so we've got a good idea of it, and then postcode insights. Now, do you know what? What I'm really looking for is, first of all, has it got 5% capital growth? It does, 5.3%, so really good. Yields, I'm ideally looking between 6 and 7%, and it's found me 6.5%. And then the actual comparables and everything else that's coming in is really strong. Location strong. It's really not a bad investment. Now, the other thing that you can do, and this is what I really like, let's say I wanted to focus on BRR, I'd go on-market properties there, and let's say I was looking at a similar postcode. So I might put in the postcode there, and I might go, right, well, let's go to property lists, and I'm going to go to unmodernized properties, so this is really cool. I then put in the postcode, and I'll put 5 miles, and let's see what it actually comes in at. So the idea is that you give this a bit of a play around yourself, but check what it's come back with. So I've got a 170k property, and quickly here, check these numbers out. So this is what it's actually looked at. So it's done this one, a 29%, this one, too expensive, 28%, and these are combined returns, 29%, 29%. Now, of course, we need to double check some of these figures, but you can then go on these. Let's right click some so we open them in new tabs and check this out. So it's done this through AI, and it's seen this property online, done an AI check of all of the photos to see what it thinks the refurbishment cost will be, which is insane, of each and every one of these. Now, obviously going to validate each one of these as it goes through, but I am blown away by this. And then what you can do is you can add these to your watch list, and you can set up triggers on them. But if not, all I'll do is I'll click proceed there and get all of the financing in place. But all of this is just driven by this AI piece. And by the way, I recommend playing around with it as you go through. But I think this is absolutely crazy. So from a very simple search, that's 8 out of 10, isn't it? I guess the challenge is having the knowledge beforehand. So maybe some questions is like, I don't know, if we went back to ChatGPT, and we just said, what do you think makes a great investment? What are the 3 things that I should look out for? I think this is going to be really interesting. So location and demand, yeah, I think that's great. You know, they're not making any more ground out there. Numbers that work today, so making sure it's positive cash flow, we've got that yield. And then condition and management, and I think that's really good. So, you know, you can go into that and then say, let's go over to that property that we got on there. And I think So we've got this property, and what we're going to do is see what Landlord AI can actually do. Now, is this perfect? No, because you need additional knowledge coming in. But for a very, very rough investment going into that, I don't think it's a bad idea. We've spent 5 minutes asking a couple of questions with no context on there. We've then chucked that information into Landlord, and this is what it's come up with, by the way. So, key points analysis: purchase price, get it 167, refurb 15 grand, after the refurb 222, rentals about £1,000, bridge and load required at 0.93% monthly interest, bridging fees, costs and everything in. It's gone everything. Financial metrics, 6.5% yield, net income £3,000 a year, 6.47 return on capital deployed or in there, and an IRR of 20.1%. Now, let me ask you, would you say this is a good investment based on a balance of capital growth and rental income, factoring in the 3 following pieces? I honestly don't know what this can do. Wow, this is pretty cool. Based on the provided key investment criteria, location and demand, numbers at work today, and condition management, the property analysis presents a balanced case for a good investment. Here's the assessment. Location and demand, S2 postcode, benefits strong transport links, ongoing regeneration. The area likely has a diverse tenant demand, including families and professionals. Comparables, recent sales in the vicinity show a range of historic. Great. Numbers at work today. The deal shows a positive net cash flow of $263 a month after mortgage and operating costs, which is important to be immediately profitable. Gross yield, 6.5%, which is within the healthy range of 5 to 7%. Ideal for Yorkshire longholds. And buy-to-let scenario, blah, 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 blah. Condition management, the property is an end of terrace, high-quality interior finish, generally straightforward layout, easy to maintain, more maintained compared to complex or HMOs. Refurbs moderate, and some management costs are factored in. Summary: location supports long-term capital growth and mental demand. Financial showing investment works from day one with positive cash flow. Property condition management looks good. That is not bad, is it? I don't really know what to say about that. I'm really, really impressed. The thing that I really love is, and again, I am promoting Landlord here because I think it's amazing, is this is just the beginning of AI, and AI will get better and better and faster. Now, of course, at the moment, AI can't call and negotiate on your behalf, right? But I genuinely think 3 to 5 years from now, it will be a game changer. I think you'll be able to click a property, put all of your investment criteria in there, and click, I want this deal, and you'll literally, just as I've done there, be able to click a button, look at that, digital lender by Landlord, proceed, and then buy that no, hopefully that's just not bought it, right? But you then go through, and I think this is an absolute game changer. So, can AI invest your money well? Yeah, I'd love to see actually on there that projection that comes through. So if I scroll down there, check that out. In 10 years, my investment has got £197,000 return on investment. I think in anyone's world, that is an amazing investment. So, let me know what you think in the comments. I'll put the link to Landlord. Check it out. Check it out yourself. Play around with it. You can add your portfolio, manage everything. Let me know what you think in the comments. And if you do want a code to upgrade to premium, I can't remember it right now, but I'll put it in the comments. Put Landlord in the comments. I'll send you the link, and you can upgrade and get like 60 or 40, 50% off. It's crazy offer on there. I hope this has been valuable. Let me know what you think of AI. What AI are you using? I'm really interested to check out, because this is just ChatGPT. Landlord is ridiculous, but what others are you using? If you're not subscribed already and you want to be a part of the property movement that we've got going on here, make sure to hit subscribe and the notification bell, and I'll see you in the next video.